today I'm giving you the final results of my camo pattern bracket challenge. This is in honor of March Madness. It's quickly approaching us along with turkey season. So today we're doing our own bracket challenge. So what you'll see is a list of tier 3 and tier 2 camo patterns first. And those are going to be the camo patterns in tier 3 that you just want to kind of avoid. Those are patterns that you'd need a lot of cover, a lot of luck, a lot of really concealing yourself to get by with using. Tier 2 are going to be about 10 or 12 patterns that you need some sort of front cover to kind of be effective. They're still very effective, but they do need a little bit of help in the cover department to really be effective. In tier 1, which is what I have right here today, these are the cream of the crop. These are the patterns that you don't need very much cover to be effective. And by effective, I mean effective in the late season once leaf off conditions are upon us and we don't have leaves on the trees. There's not much cover to be found, and you're ground hunting. So this is specifically for ground hunters. These are patterns that I tested to see exactly how effective they are at breaking up your outline, breaking up your silhouette, and basically concealing you with those leaf off conditions. So I hope that helps you understand exactly what I'm looking at here. The testing I done was using a couple different cameras and a phone with an app and some AI generation to basically pick up the visual acuity, which is about 2060, and also the dichromatic vision that deer have, along with that 2D vision. It gives me a great understanding of exactly how and when these patterns become visually unrecognizable at what distances. And that's basically how I broke these down. The top 5 are broken down by distance. So what distance would you need to have that deer away from you to be effective? So anything inside of that distance, you would need some sort of cover, or you'd need some sort of luck on your side. So that's how I kind of broke them down. Here comes tier 3 and tier 2. Take a look at those, and then we'll show you the results of our camo pattern bracket challenge. So the way that I've broken these down is by distance. So at what distance do these camo patterns become effective in breaking up your silhouette and concealing you? Basically, how I designed to test these basically in all different conditions, whether it be bright sunlight, partly cloudy, mostly cloudy, first 30 minutes of daylight, the last 30 minutes of daylight. So your legal shooting hours, the first part of them, the end part of your legal shooting hours, midday, mid-morning, mid-afternoon. I've tested them under all different kind of conditions, and the way I've broken them down is about what distance on average do these camo patterns become effective at basically breaking up your outline, breaking up your silhouette, and concealing you. So at number 5 in that basically our camo pattern bracket challenge, at number 5 is the First Light Fusion. At 45 yards, First Light Fusion becomes effective at breaking up your pattern. So the way you would look at this is at 45 yards and in, you would need some sort of cover with the First Light Fusion. Outside of 45 yards, you're going to be pretty well concealed as long as you're not doing any kind of movement or anything like that. You don't really need very much cover. So if you can just stay still outside of 45 yards using the First Light Fusion, it's an excellent pattern. So First Light Fusion is number 5 on our list. Number 4 on our list is Sitka Optifade Elevate 2, and it comes in at 42 yards. So these are really, really close. So at 42 yards, this one becomes effective. So anything inside of 42 yards, you'd need a little bit of cover with the Sitka Optifade Elevate 2. And this is strictly for ground hunting, remember. This pattern I think is excellent for tree stand hunting, things like that. Really, really excellent pattern. But for ground hunting at 42 yards, it becomes really, really effective. I was kind of concerned about this pattern because it's kind of dark and kind of dense, but it really works throughout the myriad of different light conditions that I tested under. So 45 yards for the First Light Fusion, 42 yards for the Sitka Elevate 2. Okay, coming in at number 3 is our good old trusty Predator Fall Gray. At 35 yards, the Predator camo becomes highly effective. So anything inside of 35 yards, you're going to need a little bit of cover or a little bit of luck on your side for that deer not to see you. But anything outside of 35 yards, and the Predator works exceptionally well with no cover. So keep that in mind. It's a really good pattern also for tree stand hunting. Hides your silhouette really, really well up in the tree. So excellent multi-use pattern. So highly recommend the Predator Fall Gray. 35 yards, you're good to go, guys. Inside of 35 yards, you're going to need a little bit of cover to break up that outline. So the next one on the list, coming in at number 2, is the Osio Raptor. This is a relatively new pattern. It's only been on the market for a handful of years now, but it is excellent. I think the designers of this camo pattern wanted us to mimic the look of an owl, like the feathers of an owl, and it does a really, really fine job. And this one at 27 yards and in, you'd need a little bit of cover, but from 27 yards and out, you're good to go. This one is going to conceal you. It works exactly like it was designed to. It basically melts into the background at 27 yards. So you're good to go outside of 27 yards. Inside of 27 yards with the Osio, you're going to need a little bit of cover or a little bit of luck on your side, one or the other. But outside of 27 yards, you don't need very much cover. If you can be still and you're stationary and you're not causing a lot of movement, the Osio Raptor is an excellent cover, excellent pattern rather. I don't have any Osio, and again, I'm not being sponsored by any of these. Osio is one of the ones that's missing. It's a hole in my basic camo collection, but I'm about to rectify that because it's a really, really good camo pattern. It's sole, meteor, and testing. So coming in a strong number 2, 27 yards, is the Osio Raptor. Coming in at number 1, and it's number 1 with a bullet, and that's our OG natural gear. This is the MVP of all camo patterns that I tested. At 13 yards, this camo pattern effectively vanishes. It will break up your silhouette. It will conceal you as long as you're not moving at 27 yards, which is an incredible number compared to a lot of the camo patterns that I tested. 13 yards is incredible. The average distance that a camo pattern vanishes in my testing was 54 yards. This is 13 yards. So if the average camo only blends you in at 54 yards, or you're visible within that range, and this one does it at 13 yards, that tells you how effective this camo is. It is extremely effective. It is very subtle camo. It's understated camo. It uses a lot of similar shading. It's very muted. Even the darks are not dark, they're still light. The color palette is wonderful. It just blends in. There's no other way to say it. A lot of these camo patterns do a lot of work. This one doesn't look busy. It doesn't do a lot of work. It just comes natural. That's why it's called natural gear, I think. It doesn't need a lot of gimmicks. It is just super solid and super, super effective. I have never actually deer hunted very much in this camo. I've used it a couple times. I had a piece that I used scouting basically, but for turkey hunting, I use it a good bit. I use the SC2 version of this, which come further down the line as far as this testing goes. The SC2 is not as good as the OG natural gear. It's a little bit darker, but the OG natural gear for deer hunting is probably, without question, one of the top camo patterns for concealment. So again, I appreciate you guys watching. I hope you got something out of this. This is the top 5. Again, these are the ones that I recommend and I'll be using. I have trust in them after testing them. I have even more faith in them. Some of these I don't even have, some of them I do, but the ones I don't have, I'll be picking up pieces of to use this upcoming fall and winter. guys watching. We're headed toward turkey season. Things are warming up. Really exciting time to be in the woods right now. There's a lot of postseason scouting going on right now, but a lot of our eyes and our attention is focused on getting out in the woods and chasing those tree birds. So I appreciate you guys taking the time to watch this. I hope you got something from it. Hope you enjoyed it. Good luck out there if you take to the woods turkey hunting this year. Stay safe. Again, thank you so much for taking the time to watch this. I hope you got something out of it. Maybe you got a little more understanding of how these patterns work and how they line up with other patterns. If nothing else, hopefully this was somewhat educational. I appreciate you taking the time to watch